We're not talking about renting. We have said nothing about tenants. This is just you doing the mortgage with the strategy that we've talked about tonight and implementing that correctly. Number 4 is a tax deduction. I can deduct my interest on my taxes. Now, the problem with interest is a lot of times it can be capped. We have the standard deduction, right? So if we're itemizing our interest deductions, we have to have a really big mortgage payment to actually be able to deduct our interest and get any reasonable benefit from it, right? But if you're doing the home equity line of credit and you're using it as an investment, you can actually take your mortgage interest and per Internal Revenue Code section 163, you can classify it as something called an investment expense. In other words, it's the cost of doing deals, right? When I do this deal, sure, I make 12%, but I have to pay interest to borrow that money. That interest is now tax deductible as a business expense, not as an itemized deduction. I'm not doing itemized. I'm writing this off as a investment expense against my investment income, which means I can write off 100% of my mortgage interest costs associated with those deals. I can't do that on a conventional mortgage, right? Not only that, but I also am harvesting tax-free equity, right? So if we go back to this example of my home appreciating, I have a $400,000 house over 30 years that appreciates to 1.3 million. If I am married, there's an exclusion on the first $500,000 of capital gains, meaning if I sell my house, I don't have to pay taxes on the first $500,000 on capital gains, right? So I paid 400,000, which means up to 900,000 if I sell this would be tax-free. So we have the first 900,000 of equity that's going to be tax-free, but beyond that, that's about 400 grand that I'm going to have to pay taxes on if I traditionally sell this property, right? So the way that I avoid this is I never sell the property. We're talking about having $900,000 that we get tax-free on a sale using the capital gains exclusion, but still having to pay $400,000 capital gains tax on that 400,000. But if we're borrowing against it and never selling, right, we get tax-free equity. We don't have to worry about paying taxes. Right now, they're moving the capital gains rate up to about 25%, which means on $400,000, I'd pay $100,000, right? So check this out. We have the tax-free equity, and then we also have, and this is not using the mortgage, this is just icing on the cake. We help you then use the house to get tax deductions, right? We can use a couple of different ways to get accelerated depreciation on the house. We can use something called the Augusta rule. These are all things in the tax code that my team knows that as a client of ours, you're going to get as a benefit as well. So these are additional tax deductions you can get for using the house itself for business. If you're wondering, what does Wealth Dynamics do? How can we actually help you? Number one, if you haven't gotten a copy of my book, Blueprint to Financial Freedom, grab one now. You can get that down in the comments in the video. You can get the link for that. Number two, we do a free course on Fridays on personal finance. Okay, you can also get the link for the description there too. And then finally, if you have a desire to start getting help walking through these different phases toward financial freedom, book a call with my team. Go to our website, set up a call. We're able to help out and answer questions. That's how we can help you. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure you turn notifications on, and I will talk to you guys on the next video.